Do you need a new headshot for LinkedIn or Tinder, but you don't have a nice camera to do it? That's okay. Today, I'm gonna tell you how to do it with your phone. I'm gonna show you how to do this 3 different ways. 1 is gonna be basic. 2 is gonna have like a little bit extra equipment. And 3, we're gonna go to the computer and do some work there. Thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Okay, so I brought Megan to the most beautiful spot in this little cul-de-sac, which is under this beautiful redbud tree. You might be thinking, hey, this is a beautiful spot. Why don't I just take a picture here and be done with it? But you would be wrong. The light is terrible. It's crazy. She's gonna have like sticks coming out of her head and branches. It's not good. On the surface, it looks good, but in the photo, it's not gonna look good. So we gotta keep moving. You might be tempted to take a picture from this angle. Don't. I brought Megan over here because we have this green foliage. When we put the phone in portrait mode, it'll blur nicely and it'll just be a nice, solid backdrop for her. The only thing we have to do now is kind of shimmy around until we find the best light for her face. What we're looking for when we're looking for a good light is nice, even, soft light like this. A way that you can kind of cheat if you're not sure is use your hand and kind of turn it around. When we get over here, it gets weird, harsh, shadowy lines. When we get over here, it gets harsh shadow lines, but right here, it's nice, even light. Today, I'm gonna be using an iPhone 15 Pro, but you don't have to use this. You could use any phone that has a camera in it, preferably one that has portrait mode. That's what we're gonna be using. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slide over to our portrait mode. Very lovely, which gives us a nice fake bokeh in the background, or bouquet, if you're Japanese. You'll see here that Megan has this nice even light on her face. She's got nice light coming on her from above, and the background is nice, flat, out of focus, solid background. So we can choose between 1x, 2x, or 3x. If you were using a regular DSLR camera, you'd probably be using a long lens. So if we go 2x or 3x, that'll sort of mimic the long lens. And so I'm gonna do 2x today. Next, we want to think about composition. For a headshot, you're going to usually get the shoulders, the head, and then a little bit of headroom. So I'm going to think about that when I frame up here. You'll see these grid lines, so you can use the rule of thirds. I'm going to try to get her eye line right in this top grid line. And if you don't see the grid lines, you can turn those on in the settings. Okay, ready? This is a nice photo. She's nice and pulled out from the backdrop. The light is nice around her face, but there's 2 things that I don't like. 1, the sky showing there. My eye is going there instead of staying on her. It's a bright spot in the photo, so I'm just gonna recompose the shot so that that's not there. And the second thing is the reflections being picked up by her glasses, but Megan has a little trick to get rid of those reflections. She's not mic'd up though, so I'll say it for you. Megan's gonna take her glasses and just simply angle them down. It's that easy. Okay, ready? I'm getting reflections still.
In my glasses?
Yeah. Bring the glasses more towards the bridge of your nose.
Well, how's that? Wait.
That's good. Tilt your head down a little bit. Yeah, that's great. Cool. And I like that we have some wind, so we got some movement going through. I need to reframe. It's too much. It's not headshot. We're getting like boobs. We don't want that. We want to just do like shoulders. So hang on. So now I'm doing 3x. That's lovely. I love that. It looks really good. So that's our basic photo. If you want to not be basic, then keep watching and we're gonna take it to the next level. Okay, if you're ready to take your headshots to the next level, you're gonna need some tools. We're being really practical and economical about the tools that we're using today because we know everybody doesn't have a reflector or a hair light. So we're using things that you could probably find around your house. The first is a box and aluminum foil. So we're gonna make a reflector by wrapping aluminum foil around this box. And then the second thing is this hair light, which is just a $30 light that we had in our garage, a little clamp light.
So it's just a work light, it's not a clamp light.
It's not a clamp light, it's just a work light. If you don't have this, that just means you don't have the hair light and it's not a big deal. No worries if you don't have a non-clamp light in your garage. And no worries if you don't even have a garage, it's not necessary. I'm just covering the surface of this board with this reflective aluminum foil. And then Daniel will have chicken nuggets for dinner tonight so that we get a second use out of the aluminum foil.
Sweet.
The sun's kind of above us, and when I catch it in this reflector, I can bounce it back. So say my subject was standing here, I could fill in the shadows on this side of her face.
It's also a good way to blind people.
Some people think that when I bought these $60 containers from the Container Store,
They're how much?
that we would never have a purpose for them, but that's all about to change today because they're gonna hold our reflector. Can you hear the dogs?
Yeah. This is going on YouTube. Hundreds of people see this.
Okay, what we wanna do is hit Megan with 3 sources of light. We have a main source, which is this giant window that's letting in the sun. Then we have a kicker right behind her that's gonna help separate her from the background. We're getting a nice little hair light. And then the third light, we're gonna reflect this big source of light back onto this side of her face. As I move this towards her, I'm filling in the shadows with reflected light. There's still no purpose for the containers that I got. So Megan's gonna hold it. So we've cleaned up the background because I didn't like the plant coming out of her head. So now she just has like a flat pink surface. Now I'm gonna jump into my portrait mode. I think I'm gonna go 2x. I'm gonna frame up so that her eyes, can I get you to scooch this way a little bit so that we don't get the door? Her eyes are in the third. Megan, give me a big smile. And boom. So it seems dark, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on her face and I'm gonna up the exposure. Give us a laugh, Megan. Close your mouth though.
How do you laugh at that?
Okay, great. Personally, I think the light outside was better. I think it made a better portrait, but the one that we took inside is also great, just needs a little bit of tweaks. So now we're gonna kick it over to Daniel. He's gonna show you how you can edit your photos in Lightroom and or Photoshop. I don't know what his deal is.
I don't either.
I'm going to use Lightroom on my phone to edit the headshots, and the good news is you can download it and use most of the features for free without a paid subscription. I'll select the photo I want to edit. In the edit menu, I want to make lighting adjustments. Here you can adjust your exposure, contrast, etc. I'm going to tap on the curve button. This will open up the tone curve, and while it may look daunting, it's a powerful way to add contrast to your image. I'll start by tapping the line along these quadrant intersections to create 3 additional points. Then I'll take the second lowest one and drag it down a little bit, and this will add some richness to the shadows. Then I'll tap done. Next, I'll go ahead and bump the overall contrast. Then I'll bring the highlights down a little, increase the shadows, and then just lower the blacks a little bit, maybe -5 or so. In the color menu, you can adjust the white balance. If your image looks too blue or too yellow, pull the temperature slider in the opposite direction. You want to balance out the color until your skin tone looks as natural as possible. Then in the effects menu, I like to add a little dehaze. This just punches things up a little bit. Now, if you have the paid version of Lightroom, you can do selective adjustments like masking. So the nose area of Megan's face is a little dark, so I'm going to create a mask to paint over it. And then increase the exposure to balance things out. Then finally, we can crop the photo so our subject is nice and centered. Then we can save it to our camera roll and upload it to Tinder or whatever.
In case you're new around here, you might not know that we're longtime customers of Squarespace. It's our favorite all-in-one website platform for photographers to stand out and succeed online. Now it's never been easier to get started. You can start a completely personalized website with Squarespace Blueprint, a guided design system to help you build your online presence from the ground up. Easily launch your website and get discovered fast with integrated and optimized SEO tools, so you'll show up more often to more people and jump the way you want. And grow the way you want. Not only that, now you can make checkout seamless for your customers with simple but powerful payment tools. accept credit cards, PayPal, Apple Pay, and in eligible countries, you can offer customers the option to buy now and pay later with Afterpay and ClearPay. How do you think I got this trampoline? There's an unrivaled suite of built-in visual design effects where you can engage all of your website visitors. Doesn't matter if photography sucks, these effects are so tight that they won't even be looking at it. When you're ready to spring into action, go to squarespace.com/Mango Street to get 10% off of your new website and domain. Jump in Jehoshaphat, that's a good deal. Come here. So there you have it. I hope these tips help you take better headshots, and I hope that you get all the dates on Tinder that your heart desires.
Me too.